Welcome to Who Taught You, a platform where we discuss a plethora of things. And today we are going to be discussing boundaries. I know, okay? So the other week we got caught up on what I was doing, what you was doing, and how are you doing today? I want to know. I'm concerned about you, who you be, who you are, what's going on with you. And so, today I've had like several conversations with different people about setting boundaries and the aftermath of setting boundaries. And what I really mean by that is saying no to folks. But before I get deep into that, right? Let me go ahead and get you to like or subscribe. Go ahead and hit that button below. And if you feel so, go ahead and forward this to any of your friends or your family. Be a blessing to them today. Maybe they need to learn about boundaries. Or, you trying to kind of insinuate to them, listen, I'm setting up these boundaries for you, okay? So, little backstory. Many years ago, you know how you just grow up. I grew up in a Caribbean household, right? And in a Caribbean household, also in an American household, in any type of household, you have like customs and traditions, and also what is expected of you as an individual. Also, as a female, as far as a male, like they put these tags on you on what they expect from you. That means expectations from your teachers, expectations from your parents, expectations of your siblings if you're the oldest or if you're the youngest, expectations for cousins, you know what I'm saying? Expectations going all the way. If you're working, your expectations of your supervisors, your friends, your peers, it's a lot of pressure out there. And listen, we're going to apply that pressure today, baby. Okay. So, the expectations of you is, I grew up around my siblings, but I also grew up around my younger cousins who were like my sibling. And so kind of the expectation as the female and of the being one of the oldest of my cousins was like, we expect great things. If you come from a Caribbean background, they say the same for the African backgrounds. They expect the miracles, okay? All right, the expectations are high. So if they ask you to do something, this is how I felt. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not putting a tag on the Caribbean background, but this is how I felt. Like if my family members, my friends, my peers, my teachers, anybody that I looked up to or, were older than me, that if they asked me to do something, I was just supposed to do it. Now, I don't think that's very uncommon in any household, but that was the expectation. And also, you're a girl child. So growing up, you're just really supposed to do what they tell you to do. You know what I'm saying? And that can put a lot of pressure on anyone. So also, I didn't even talk about the expectations you have for yourself, right? They can be high because everybody else's expectation is way above, like you're sinking. So yours also has to be high for yourself. So I put these expectations on myself that nobody assigned to me, but I just did it. All right. So I told you before I'm a 9/11 victim. I was injured in the World Trade Center disaster, and I've had like back problems, mental health issues. I had surgery some years ago on my spine, right? I had surgery on my neck, and they put like a fused disc in my neck, 2 in my neck. And when people who've had this type of surgery, they kind of know. They be like, C disc, C4, C5, C6. those are like the areas in your spine, right? The bones in your spine that they may have replaced, they may do surgery on, they may touch. So before I had the surgery, my health was debilitating. It was just going down. And, I also have a herniated disc in my lower back, and they consider that the lumbar, right? So these things I'm telling you, I am not a physician. I am not a mental health expert. I am telling you from my background, my opinions, my personal beliefs. And also, if I mention anybody, it's allegedly, okay? So, when my health was going down, I was having numbness going down my arm. And most people who have back problems, they are quite familiar with this, or they know that it may be coming, right? I had numbness going down my arm. I was at my job at one point, and I just didn't feel anything. Like my hand it was like no feeling at all. So I was even scared, like, oh, I can't move my arm. This may be like, okay, can I even drive home? And I was pretty young, when this started happening to me. So I was a bit scared. Okay. And let me pause for a minute on the hair, honey, on the hair. Okay, I got my hair done. I got a haircut. And honey, I was like, woo, they cut a lot of this hair. Okay, they cut a lot. But it's looking good. It's looking good. I know y'all are not used to me with my hair being straightened. I did not get a perm. I'm a natural girly. And I prefer my hair curly. So to get my hair straightened, I'm feeling myself. Who am I? Okay? All right. Anyway, moving on. We're going back. So I was very scared. And I ended up going to therapy for it. And I just got really depressed. And anybody who have health issues, it seems to me, just by my observation, that a lot of times people get depressed if you've been continuously ill and your mental health needs some adjusting, right? So I went and I got some help for it, and I was speaking to some therapists during these times. And I was depressed about that because I was so young, and I felt like, why is this happening to me? I'm so young, But then I also had another underlying issue. I had put an unexpected, unrealistic tag on myself where, being that I'm a 9/11 victim, I ended up getting some sums of monies at different stages. And also, to tell you the truth, God loves me, honey. God loves me. I'm one of his favorites. Don't mess with me, okay? So, at different stages of my life, I've gotten windfalls of money. And after 9/11, I felt like God saved my life. So I need to go ahead and help other people. And what I mean by help other people is anything anybody asked, I felt like I needed to do that because I felt like God saved my life. So I need to go out there and help somebody, save somebody, do something. This was unrealistic. I am only human, and God knows it, right? So people, I started, before I went to have my surgery, I started like after 9/11, if somebody asked me for money, I would just give it. I'd give it. Listen, I felt like God saved my life, so that is the least that I could do, right? So if they asked me for help, I would just do it. If they asked me for anything, I remember somebody asked me to come to their house to help take out their braids. And I was going to do it. I'm genuine. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to come. And the person turned around and told me that they had to tell me this, that they were going to use me to come to their house to take their braids out. But because I was so nice and so sweet and so willing to help, they was like, nah, they can't do it. And also because of their spirit, they couldn't do it, right? And I was like, oh, and it was a bit shocking, right? So because I took on this attitude where I'm going to help everybody. And when I say that, I helped family, I helped friends, I helped people I was dating. And so there were some people who were appreciative, and then some people I gave loans to. However, when it was time for them to repay me, what happened here? I don't see anything in my hand. They couldn't make the payments, honey. Or I felt like if I gave you something, I shouldn't have to ask you back. And I feel like a lot of people feel that way, don't you? You be like, if Paula come over to you and ask you for $20 and say Paula is going to pay you back this $20, I'll pay you back in a week or two. The week or two passed. I feel like I shouldn't have to come and ask you for it. Just like you walked over to me and asked me for the money, then you should be able to walk over to me and give it back to me. Isn't that how you feel? Okay. So what happened is, I was so sweet and I was so nice. And if somebody asked me to do anything, it didn't even have to be monetary. I would do it because, once again, who? God, yes. God saved my life. So I was like, I'm going to do anything and everything. But we are all human, right? And so humans, we have the good and we also have the not so good. And sometimes kindness can be taken for weakness. Now, I want to get very clear with you, and I'm coming straight up in your face. Don't get it twisted. I am in no way weak, okay? And if you've been one of those persons, if you've been like that in your life, right, and have experienced things like this, go ahead and give me a thumbs up that you like this video, okay? Okay. Ain't nothing weak about you. Ain't nothing weak about you. Okay? Go ahead and say that. Ain't nothing weak about me. All right. But sometimes people will prey on you because they think because you're so kind, that means you're so weak. No. Definitely not. We're not weak, okay? I just was doing the Lord's work and putting this expectation on myself that was very unrealistic. And then they say, like, when you give, you should give with a kind heart. And initially, that was me. Was that you? Was that you? Go ahead and do a thumbs up that you like this video. Go ahead and like and subscribe. Okay. So if that was you, right? You know, you were just giving from your heart. You were just being big of yourself. You were just being kind and sweet and stuff like that. So it took me some years, but it built up. It kept building. People not paying me back my money. Then I'm struggling. People not even asking you, are you okay? They just expect that you got it. You got it, you got it, you got it. No, not all the time you got it, right? So what ended up happening is I started building the resentment. And it hurt me. It hurt me so much because I was like, how could people be so unkind? I'm sure I hurt you too. If you have ever experienced this, it has hurt you too. And I want to acknowledge that because just acknowledging it means something. You know what I'm saying? And so, it hurt me so much, and I was just so resentful and so angry. And on top of that, I was ill. And it's like, to me, in that moment, nobody was like coming to my aid. And you know what? They say hindsight is 2020. There were people around. They probably didn't even know I was going through that, because guess what? I ain't open my mouth. You know, sometimes you got to open your mouth and tell it what it is. Now, do you have to be nasty? No, you do not. You don't have to be nasty. But you could say, I'm not feeling well, or I feel away because you did this. Or was that your intention? Because sometimes, we get it all mixed up. I still do. Human. That's who I am. So, while I'm connecting the dots from the illness to how it was where I was giving too much of myself, right? And being abused. People was abusing it. So here go the dots. So in therapy, guess what? While they were trying to help me heal with my illness and me being depressed about it, they said to me, "Sister girl, you need a book." I said, "A book?" Boundaries. It's called Boundaries. Okay? Boundaries. You see what it says? Who's the author? Okay. It says Dr. Henry Cloud and Dr. John Townsend. It says this book, okay, I got this in therapy. This was 10 million years ago. But it's at that time, they had over 2 million copies sold. You see that? Over 2 million copies sold, okay? And it says when to say yes, how to say no, and to take control of your life. Woo. Now, I can attest, this is a great book. A great book, okay? Go ahead and purchase it. Purchase it. If you are not an avid reader, I'm sure there is an audio of this book, and it will teach you some lessons. And I think this book really saved me, because my expectations, like people have expectations of you. I had expectations of the people I was helping, but it's unrealistic if you didn't set up any boundaries. And so I've had several conversations over the past couple of weeks, me and this one person that I was speaking to, I was saying, you know what I realized about people? They dislike when you say no. And who doesn't? Everybody want a yes. I want a yes. Go ahead and give me a yes and like and subscribe, honey. Okay, I want a yes. Give me a yes all day long. You know what I'm saying? But people hate when you say no. And what I realized too is, okay, your friends, like we talk about expectations, your friends have certain expectations of you. Your family have certain expectations of you. You know what I'm saying? The person you with, dating, married to, doing whatever, they have expectations of you. Your children have expectations. Everybody got expectations. Even you. Okay, you got expectations of yourself, So, who taught me? Who taught me, right? So, today we're talking about who taught me, and the person who taught me was therapy. Actually, it was Kaiser, honey. So, so my therapist gave me that book, and it was just very insightful. And as I said, everybody has expectations of you. And you also have your own expectations of yourself. And people just hate when you say no. People hate it, they hate it, they hate it. But you're not going to always say yes for every single thing, you know? And so what I learned from that book was stop loaning out money, boo, because you ain't built for this. I ain't built for it. No, I ain't. And I started taking the idea of that. I started, like, you know how I say this to people. I say, I don't loan money. I don't loan no money. Listen, ain't nobody asked me for no money, but I'm just putting it out there, honey. I ain't loaning no money. No, I don't loan money. And so I started going, which the book don't tell you to do this, but see, I wanted to stop it from jump. So I would go into situations like, say if I'm, this is before I was married, honey. And so say I was dating. I was like, yeah, I don't loan money. This is when you getting to know the person. You talking about finances and, situations and how you handle certain situations. And do you like me? Yes or no? Check the box, please. Okay. So I would tell them, because I gave 2 guys that I dated, dummy me. I gave 2 guys that I dated money and they both did not pay me back. And it was large sums. They were struggling, but they seen I had it. So they asked. And I was like, yes, because God needs me to be this person. What? Who assigned me this position? Okay. So, they didn't pay it back to me. I was so disappointed. And, in relationships, they tell you money is a big issue. It's a big issue. People fall out about money. People fight about money. People get divorced about money if you ain't bringing in the dough. So I usually now, it had passed on one boo that I dated that didn't pay me my money. Honey, I took my boo to court, honey. I took him to court to get my money, my coin. Okay? I took him to court. Then I garnished him. Yep. Because, like I said, the expectation when somebody, this is our own personal expectation. It ain't nothing they agree to. But you expect that if you can't pay, you'll be like, listen, I can't pay you $1,000, but I could pay you $20. See, we would so like that for somebody to come to us and tell us that, or I'll pay you $5. Not that you don't hear from them, they ain't answering their phone, or they talking to you every day and acting like ain't nothing happening. Okay? So I went so far to garnish them. And yeah, did I get all my money back? No, but I got some of it. That's what I'm saying. So don't play with me when it comes to my point. Okay? So it wasn't just money. It was even like family members would ask me to do stuff. And say, for instance, I have family members who they have their own children. But because you're the reliable one, you're the one that they can always call. So then I started looking like, if Peter, Paul, and John, if Jesus' children, Peter, Paul, and John, the disciples, if they ain't dependable, you always call them Mike, Paula. And so let me act like them. If they ain't all, and let me say, Peter, Paul, and John, they may not just have not been dependable that one moment. It's not like they're continuously not dependable. But, you always dependable, girl. You always dependable. So they're going to call on Paula. So then, listen, I just looked at their actions and was like, I'm going to be undependable too. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be just like you. So because I didn't have the courage at the time to say, no, I can't do this. No. And so that will also be the case for your in your job. That can also be in the case of your children. That can also be in the case of your spouse or your partner. That can also be in the case of your friends. You don't really want to disappoint them. You want everybody to like you. You want everybody to love you. Let me say this. Everybody ain't gonna love you, boo. It's a fact. Everybody is not gonna love you. That's just how it is. That's how it's set up, honey. No matter what you do, you could be sweet as pie. There's gonna be one person be like, I don't like him because he always being so sweet. And he fake, or she fake. She always being so sweet and nice. She ain't even really like that. Everybody's not gonna like you, and you have to be okay with that. And I think people say yes because sometimes they want to do the thing for you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you're asking. And then there's sometimes it's because of your expectations, or sometimes because you want to be liked. You don't want the person to dislike you, right? Okay. That book gave me so much empowerment that, like I said, I tell people right off the bat, I could be at a family event, I could be at a work event, I could be at working for yourself, or whatever you're doing. I could be at a social event. Once the coin question or the coin conversation come up, I don't loan money. Nope, I don't. And this is how I am now. It's not that I don't loan money. I do. But I only loan it and I have to feel okay within myself that if you don't give it back to me, I'm okay. I'm okay. And I have done that in plenty of situations. But don't come to me, honey. Come to Jesus and come to somebody else. Let them loan you the money. Go to the bank, honey. Listen. And I don't do business ventures with friends and family members. And that's just my personal thing, because I don't want to fall out. I don't want to fall out with you. And if I ask you for something, or if I ask you for this and it's a business thing, if it don't work out, then we gonna fall out, right? And as I said, sometimes it's not about money. Sometimes it's about favors. Like, can you just do this for me? Can you wash this just for me? Or can you back up my car for me? And I'm just using those as example. Ain't nobody asked me to wash no dish, because I am not the help. Okay. All right. Ain't nobody asking me to back out no car because I'm not a valet. But I'm just using those as examples, right? So, somebody asked me a favor, I'll be like, if I don't feel like doing it, I just be like, no. Or if it's going to come with an expectation, I'll be like, no. And I am a firm believer. My daughter, she laughs at me. I'm kind of like Medea. Medea be like, there was a movie where she was with Dr. Phil, and Dr. Phil is like, well, when you get them, then the getters get the goddess and the something. I don't know how it go, but something like that, right? And so I'm that person, because I told you, when somebody do something to me, I never forget. No, I don't forget. I don't forget. However, I can forgive. I can forgive, but I ain't gonna never forget. And I told y'all the example in the other video why. I told you how my dad taught me a lesson, and I ain't never forget that. Okay. But I feel like sometimes you will tell people, let's start with a boyfriend, right? A boyfriend or girlfriend. You'll tell them, listen, Sally, listen, Jim Bob, listen, Buzzman, listen, Eduardo, listen, Tyra, listen, Ellen, listen, whoever. You're saying, listen, Lisa. You know what I'm saying? You be like, when you did this particular thing, I didn't like it, or it hurt my feelings. And the person, there are some times that they really get what you're saying, okay? But there's other times that we are pretenders. We'll say, yeah, I got what you said. I understand. And you'll be like, well, please don't do that again. And they'll be like, no, I wouldn't. Because, I don't want to hurt you, And then they'll do it again. And again. And again. And sadly again. Until you don't put up with it anymore, right? So, and I don't know what that looks like for anybody. But for me, when you do something to me, I realize how you're moving. And one of the things I have come to be accustomed to is that nobody has to do anything for you. Let me repeat that. Nobody has to do anything for you. So say, for instance, you ask somebody, can I borrow your pen? And they be like, no. Okay, they don't owe you nothing. All right. Listen, I put it in my file cabinet. I be like, doo, 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 doo. Draw that file up. Pew. Okay. I got to respect you. Even if I don't like it, I got to respect it. But then, if you come back tomorrow or 6 months from now or a couple of years from now, you be like, P, you got a pen? I'll be like, I do, but I can't loan it to you. And let me tell you why. Because when you, 20 years ago, 6 years ago, as I said, I don't never forget. I just know how to move after that. I know how to move. And so if I don't feel comfortable with something, I'm going to tell you no. And I'm going to be so fine with it. And if you don't like me or you begin to hate me, that made me feel even better, honey, that I'm so busy spending so much time in your mind. You know what I'm saying? I be like, because see, if you tell me no, I can still move on with you. And I don't necessarily hate you. I just hate that action. You know what I'm saying? Or I know that, okay, this is your boundaries. So, okay, let me set my boundaries now. You know? So people don't like that. It hurt people's feelings. Ooh. And sometimes I don't like it too when people tell me no. But listen, like the Kardashians say, when the people tell you no, that means you asking the wrong person. So move on, carry on. I don't have no problem with it. Okay. So, you know, me and a friend of mine, we were talking and we were saying that people do not like when you tell them no. And even if you don't have an excuse, say, for instance, you're not like me, because, you know, petty Paula, you know, you're not like me who gonna go in the Rolodex, but you just be like, no. They feel entitled. Well, I'm your best friend. Well, I'm your partner. Well, I'm your spouse. Well, I'm your child. Well, I'm your mama. I'm your daddy. I am your cousin, your sister, your brother. People feel mad, big mad. Don't get big mad with me, because I be big glad. Hey, you know, I don't be feeling no way about it. And a lot of times I say no because I don't feel like it. And that's just it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to give you no excuse. I don't feel like it. And that's that. You know what I'm saying? And carry on. But I was telling my best friend, if you tell people no, they just get big mad. And my friend was agreeing with me. They were so agreeing with me. And we were talking about some things that were financial, some things that were not financial. And even they had experiences like that. You know what I'm saying? And you know I'm not unusual. I'm not the most unique person in the world. Listen, I think I'm unique to God because he made me with all his glory, honey. But, you know, it's not like, as far as that emotion, as far as that feeling, we're not that unique. We have that commonality amongst us, right? And people just get mad. And the other day, one of my other girlfriends, she came to me and she was like, you know, She's such a sweetheart. She was telling me how she admired me. She was so grateful for me. And she hasn't been the only one. Lately, people have just really been telling me how they have appreciated me. And listen, I love y'all and I'm going to pour into you and I want the best for you. But you also have to want the best for yourself, right? So, and I'm the type of person, I bring you to the water, but after the second or third time, honey, I'm done bringing you. You have to bring your darn self to the water, you know? And so, she was just telling me a situation that she found herself in. And she was saying no. And she was setting up her boundaries. And, you know, her issue of not wanting to say no stemmed from childhood, of just wanting to be loved and to be liked, you know what I'm saying, and acceptance. And I think that's very common. Sometimes we don't set up boundaries. We don't say no because we want to be accepted. Who doesn't? You know what I'm saying? Who doesn't? But listen, I'm on my journey to become a millionaire, and I realize that millionaires say no a lot of times. And listen, I'm going to have to say no a lot of times. And that's fine. You know what I'm saying? I ain't the only person in the world. Carry on. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have no problems with it. I tell people I don't be caring what people think. I don't care if they hate me, if they dislike me. I don't care if we are family and you be like, I can't believe she told me no. I don't care nothing about that. It doesn't put food in my mouth. And for me to tell you no, I have already said yes to a lot of things. And you may not think it's a lot of things. You may be like, oh, she said yes to 2 things. That's it. Well, I've said yes. And sometimes you're going to get some no's. And that's just how it goes. And that's it. And so my point is that I don't want, it's okay for you to say no for certain things. You could say no to your spouse, to your partner. I have done that before. And my spouse and partner has said no to me. And I was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? But you saying no to me, it's just putting a battery in my pocket. And it's motivating me to push on harder, stronger. You know what I'm saying? And if you say no to me, like Bishop T.D. Jakes says, I'm going to send you a sympathy card, honey, because you don't know what you missed out on. Listen, send me a sympathy card. Let me know what I done missed out on. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? And before you came to me and before, you know, you asked for whatever you asked for, and I said no, it was already written in the books. Do you not know it? That was already planned. God already knew that I was going to say no. Or if you're saying no. So I want y'all to practice y'all no's. Say it with me. No. I want y'all to practice that. It's okay to say no. And make it normal to say no sometimes. You know, you're going to say yes to a lot of people. Now, don't get me wrong. Let me get real up close to this camera. I'm not saying to say no for every single thing. If you do not feel comfortable in your spirit, in your mind, that if you say yes, you're not going to be your whole you, then say no. If you feel like this is something I want to do from my heart, I don't have no problem. It's easy. Like the people say, it's easy. Brushing my shoulder off. Then do it. But I'm saying to you, sometimes you have to set up boundaries. You have to set up boundaries. Listen, the other day I done told my family no, and it had nothing to do with money. Let me see, about 3 people in my family I told no to. 2, I told them no because I had to pour more into me. And if I would kept doing what I was doing, then I'd be pouring into them and I'd be lacking. My cup wouldn't be full. So I had to tell them no. I had to put me first. You know, my favorite saying is put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you could go help somebody else. Okay? And I'm a firm believer. I tell my friends that. Listen, I respect all of y'all. I respect you. And this is why I could tell you this, because I want the best for you. I respect you. It's okay to say no. Do not keep saying yes to appease other people, and you haven't put the oxygen mask on yourself and to make you whole, to make you better. So go ahead, get you these boundaries. You can get the audio book. You can get whatever book. Get the boundary. You see who it's by. I'm going to zoom on in. Okay? Get that book. I think you would be better for it. Now, listen. You know, these were my own personal opinion. And that's not what they say in the book, honey. They teach you tools. And that's what you will need. You know, I'm just telling you my own experience. And who hasn't had family, friends, spouses, partners ask them for things? And you know, I use money because money is usually the common theme. Or maybe they'll ask you to put up your house, honey. Put up your car. Put up your job. Put up something else. And if you don't feel comfortable with it, then say no. You know, there's a little thing inside of you. It's like deep in your gut. You know what I'm saying? And it will tell you something. It'll be like, you'll be like, I feel uncomfortable doing this. Then don't. Be true to you. You know what I'm saying? You owe that to yourself. So go ahead and get the book. Remember to like and subscribe. And, you know, go ahead and put them notifications on so you could be a blessing to yourself and to others. And you go ahead and share this video, you know. And don't forget, I am on the Amazon store. And this is my book, Who Taught You About Money? Because guess what? We getting ready for the new year. And we going to get it right. Listen, if you messed up some money this year in 2023, don't worry about it. You get to start over. You get to start over. This is me on the back. The book is only $9.99 and it's also on Kindle free 99, free 99, okay? And listen, if you already got my book, go ahead and give this to somebody for a Christmas gift, a New Year's gift, any type of gift. Be a blessing to someone else, okay? Well, listen, it's about my time to go. And I want to tell you that I will see you very shortly, very soon. And if I miss you for the Christmas holiday, go ahead and just have you a great old time because you deserve it. This is only the one life you get to live and you deserve that, okay? Have you a good time. Spend time with your family. Spend time with your friends. If you do not have some family, because listen, sometimes your family could drive you to drink, honey. And you might be like, I'm taking a break from family and I'm going to just be with my family. Okay, your friends, go ahead and do that. Or take time with yourself. You might be the problem. Sometimes I'm the problem, you know what I'm saying? Got to work on that, okay? So, go ahead and I will see you very shortly. I'll come out with a new video, going drop it like it's hot, hot, hot. Okay? And until next time, bye.